Greetings from M.R.H of M.R.H Gifting Services. We live today doing the special concerning the wildfires that have took over in the northwest Washington area, fully polluting the air at sea level and also neighborhood level, causing a low grade of air quality and pollution throughout the state of Washington. M.R.H, as you very well know, has put together a program for this situation. Back in 1996, our graduate year at Federway High School in Federway, Washington, I had the initiative program set up as far as M.R.H Gifting Services is concerned, and my initials M.R.H, to be expelled during a prolific time, which was 1996, and also America hosting the Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. At this time, I went ahead to expel McKinley, Rainier, Helens, my initials M.R.H, producing and bringing the freshest oxygens in Earth ever, stemming off of our True Freshman Undefeated program that you very well know. In this matter, I was a blue chip All-American football player hosting the Olympic Games out of Federway, Washington, where I was expelled front office, principal's office, doctor's office for that reason specifically and in cause, to bring the freshest oxygens ever on the planet Earth by expelling the highest peak on Earth, which is McKinley. Of course, Rainier and Helens sat here in Washington. So removing those by being expelled through the cross-examination produced its true effect. As a blue chip All-American, I was hosting the Olympic Games out of Federway, Washington, the freshest oxygens ever on the planet, as produced by Michael R. Henry. With that being said, in the anecdote or antidote of the air pollution that we are seeing today, that we have witnessed from 2019 to 2020, where the wildfires have came through, polluted the northwest region, to limited to low good air quality. We have a program that is structured strictly for this matter, and we have seen it be productive. It's honest, it's true, it's stemming from a True Freshman Undefeated program that I had to go ahead and put in order in place for my senior high school to get the true effects that we wanted. People have questions. They want to know, what does that mean? Where will that actually work? What vitality does it hold? What do I mean by the initiative process? In those questions, through trial and error, I suggest the initiative process as M.R.H, of course. My name, Michael R. Henry, expelling, of course, McKinley, Rainier, Helens. I'm initially from Alaska, so I have the right to do so. As a native Alaskan, I have the right to expel McKinley. So achieving here in Washington the awards on an athletic basis, which conducively through competition supports fresh air, fresh oxygen, gives me the right and allows me to support my endeavors and my awards, so I can expel a Rainier and a Helens. Those are located in Washington. Those have erupted before and have effects throughout the general public and the regional area of Washington or Northwest territories. Our first rule of thumb is to be respectful to people and other persons. As a connoisseur of success and having a applicable nature to succeed, be goal oriented, and being a leader, people want to see how those outlooks become reality in today's world. So we have the initiative-based C.P.R program. Now, as you heard me say before, we kept the initially concept at M.R.H and Michael R. Henry and M.R.H expelling McKinley, Rainier, Helens Alpha initially. The C.P.R program, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, does exactly the same thing. So as we lessen the pollution ratio throughout the consistency of air or air quality, this becomes a full resuscitation process through our cardiopulmonary resuscitation systems. So our heart, our lungs, our mind breathe fresher oxygens. We know it's true from a true freshman undefeated standpoint in base, in which it is coming from, which its vitality started from, to tell the truth and nothing but the truth only. Then getting into how it evolved between the precursor of true versus lie. And we got into the true versus lying situation in the applicable awarded area, which is football, and where I played offense and defense, which requires a whole lot of cardiovascular training to play and start offense and defense, play and start on each special team as a true freshman undefeated and not miss a play. So all that takes the cardiopulmonary resuscitation strength to be applicable. So when you want to know from a sense why we kept the initiative-based program to rid of all pollution, starting with the highest nuclear reactor that can produce pollution in the earth when they do erupt, McKinley, I have that ability to do so. I kept that ability to be commended in that right and order and respect. It is my duty, it is my leadership to be that. Now, coinciding, being exact, having a DNA match, the C.P.R. program, we kept the initiative. The M.R.H. program, we kept the initiative. And we went on to subjugate the GED program to keep the initiative, but to keep on healing the initiative, as the GED is known as kind of a lesser societal gain of independence through the application of certification and diplomacy. We kept it and used it as our building mechanism, our hands-on training to be able to have a career, to show that we do have a GED program through an initiative that only produces fresher oxygens at a ratio, at a velation, at a height, or at an existence that stems from McKinley formed in Earth 60 million years ago. Rainier formed in Earth 500,000 years ago. HELENS formed in Earth, as you very well know it, the funk of 40,000 years ago. So expelling each of those in its time, 60 million times 500,000 times 40,000, you come to a unlimited amount of time and space of pollution used, expelled. And we did that through the GED program to create the healing and prosperity of our situation today. So I have that here at hand to show you what that looks like. This is the GED program certification. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm going to see it up close a little bit better. But that's the GED program certification right there. Now this is our hands-on training, hands-on healing reality. This is what we grasp every day. This is what we know that actually works. Now with the expelling of it, we also have a three-part segment that I know many of you have never heard of, that I'm putting into play now, that I was thinking about in 1996 when I was expelling McKinley, Rainier, HELENS Alpha initially. This is the Rainier part, because I was in high school. We had the mountain, Mount Rainier, we had Mount Rainier High School, and we had Rainier Beach High School for the word equivalency of Rainier. Expelling all of those in this three-part segment or having a 3D effect was obsolete. It was something we had to do to see the prosperity that would come from it, what would come out of it, you know, what type of growth springs and geysers would just spring up and do tremendous things in the unknown, unseen realm, you know, not knowing I'm holding it down from the Federal Way Principal's Office, which is also the doctor's office, which also is the head office, which also is the head office of land bureaus and statistics that actually kind of house and hold and own, you know, a Mount Rainier or a Mount St. Helens in its own right. So getting those expelled was of great importance. The things that would flourish from those was of greater importance because they were lab tests that were actually done that yielded results in the areas where we were awarded. Football, of course, in basketball, in sports in general. So we were doing some great things that were also prolific, but we were able to hold on to the most important aspects of it. So, of course, coming out of high school takes 24 credits to graduate. We had the three-part process, Mount Rainier, Mount Rainier High School, and Rainier Beach. And then those 24 credits, so 24 credits times 24 credits times 24 credits would be 13,824 credits if you times them all together. What we did is we came up with a collegiate curriculum that would show what M.R.H Gifting Services is doing in its initiative-based reality as a official educational program on the private and confidential respects, in the private patient care, but also in the educational circumstances of this reality. So what we did is we took the 13,824 credits and we divided them by how many credits it would take to graduate from a general education in college, which is 120 credits roughly. So 120 credits divided by 13,824 is 115.2. That we took into consideration as a percent, like 115.2%, and also as credits, 115.2 credits. What do you do at 115.2 credits and you only need 120 to graduate a general education? You take that 5-credit PE class that you have for a semester or a quarter, and that puts you at 120.2 credits and you're applicable to graduate. Those are some of the simplicities of applying for graduation and becoming eligible to do so. We also had the graduate school aspect, or the executive education aspect of that, or the summa cum laude, which is of a higher education aspect, which usually comes in around 180 credits or more. So 180 credits divided by 13,824 credits is roughly 76.8. And we took that also as a percent, 76.8% and 76.8 credits through the divisional process out of 13,824 for the collegiate ranks. So what we were applicable and able to show as M.R.H Gifting Services, the things that we did, expelled McKinley, Rainier, HELENS for the anecdote in the precursor time of wildfires and pollution coming in through Northwest Washington, our National Geographic area, causing low pollution grade. So as this became applicable, this is what we were capable of doing, producing a fresher oxygen. This also, in its initiative, coincided in exact with C.P.R, the cardiopulmonary resuscitation program, and also what M.R.H was doing with McKinley, Rainier, HELENS, expelled, my own initials, Michael R. Henry, privately dealing with myself, doing what I want to do, doing what's respectful to others. So if I'm respectful to myself, I am respectful to others in this leadership program or through this process of leadership. That's what you'll find out, which becomes initially the ultimatum or the reality of this type of program. So we had Mount Rainier High School, and Rainier Beach expelled. And in that 3-part process, we were able to show how 24 times 24 times 24, and it takes 24 credits to graduate, became 13,824 credits. We put this into our college program perspectives and divided by how many credits it takes to graduate, and at 76.8%, we have the core curriculum to show the collegiate student when you're at 76.8%. When you're at 76.8 credits and you're able to agree with M.R.H of M.R.H Gifting Services through the fresh oxygen order, through the expelling of McKinley, Rainier, HELENS, through the 3-part segment, Mount Rainier, Mount Rainier High School, Rainier Beach segment, and show the division throughout the land. Agreeing with M.R.H of M.R.H Gifting Services would put you at 180 credits when you're at 76.8 credits if you know how to agree. It is to show that implementation first of what we are applicable for and what we are here for. Now, that type of interest in gain is knowledge. It becomes informative. Where can I get this information? So if I'm in college and I have 76.8 credits and I feel the notion that I'm missing something, there's a video excerpt that I don't got. There's something in a core class curriculum that they're not providing me, but M.R.H Gifting Services on the private circuit, but also on the private and confidential circuit, but on the private patient care authority and also in the educational basis has this program available. It is accreditable. It's based off a true freshman undefeated, so we can't lie because we know the penalty of perjury in the law. So when you're signing your documents and it says in the penalty of perjury, it is a gross misdemeanor if you present a false claim or statement. You can be fined up to $5,000 or $250,000 if you sign this document and you're lying to us. This is where that becomes applicable. That's where it is a legality. This is where the student with 76.8 credits is subject to watching the M.R.H Gifting Service video and becoming in order and having to apply and agree with M.R.H on the agreement substance of education and being able to present it to their professor or to their counselor or to their own specific lawyer and guidance counseling. So when they're at 76.8 and they feel like they're missing something and they have that ability to graduate at 180 credits, you have to know the division that has taken place in the land. The 13,824 credits that is divided from the graduate, the executive education, the summa cum laude into 180 and leaves you with 76.8. So we provide that as a process and a service. I am an independent. This is what keeps me independent and not subjugated to others, as you very well know. So everyone has their opinionation about it, but until you're going through it and you live it and you see it and the pollution rate drops considerably and the air is fresher, but you just went through a low air grade of pollution, you've seen the smog, you can barely see, and you go through those processes and you start looking for the antidotes and the ways out and what's available. M.R.H has this program. It's been set in order since 1996. This is what I mean. This is what I set forth. This is my leadership in its edification, as you very well know it. I'm M.R.H of M.R.H Gifting Services. Right now you are seeing the applicables of how this can be applied. Where can it be effective? And I'm showing and giving you the informative states, the analysis, or what is also called the statistical or the masters of statistics in this area. We are undefeated in this process through the true versus lie process. We became unlimited undefeated when we broke down the formalities of the volcanic system. 60 million years ago, McKinley formed in Earth. 500,000 years ago, Rainier formed in Earth. 40,000 years ago, that you know is the funk of 40,000 years, Mount St. Helens formed in Earth. We times all those together, 60 million times 500,000 times 40,000, because they all bear the time frame of existence. So we use the mathematical insignia of times, and we came up with roughly 1.2 E, or which is unlimited. That means as they were expelled, it became unlimited fresh oxygens. We ended up hosting the Olympic Games in 1996. I was a blue chip All-American football player, and the games are held in Atlanta, Georgia. So I was able to host the Olympic Games, presenting true freshman undefeated oxygens in Earth for the first time ever. But we had seen this coming also by staying true freshmen and having to live out what that means by being awarded as an athlete. So as you know, Making a long story long distance, we showed you the GED program. It's initiative based, and that's the initiative base, as you can see, of healing. This healing factor, everybody knows the GED as commonly being a lower grade equivalency in a social class. But when we produce a higher relation of fresh oxygen, how that works is ionization. So when the air is fresher, when the cardiopulmonary resuscitation starts taking place, the air becomes fresher. That means the white cells and the blood cells, the atomization of molecules, what enters them is fresher oxygens. When fresher oxygens enter your white blood cells and your red blood cells, they become fresher, which allows your kinesiology, your body functions, your movements to increase. You become more aware, your nervous system stables out, and you become efficient and you become effective. This has been set in place since '93. We had another initiative program, the DARE program, which is initiative at DARE, that also through elementary was in order for the true freshman undefeated coming out of elementary, which also was a Olympic view to the Olympic Games. For the word concisement, for the word relation, the area of English, and the direct derivative of word play. And we can get into, my resume, which also explains in-depthness, the true freshman undefeated. So we'll show you that. This is the resume. And that's just the first page of the resume. Here's the second page. And that's the second page of the resume. And some of the things we were doing in 1996, I will show you here. Here's a photo of me. I'm actually running the football in open field as a blue chip All-American to be. I'm ambidextrous to the NBA pose. I'm running the football doing the NBA pose. And, it's just one of those things where they caught me in a full composite picture or full composite photo of what I'm about, of what I can do in open field running. How we suggest the C.P.R class, the cardiopulmonary resuscitation, how we're ambidextrous to the NBA for the inside-outside effect. This is an outside sport. The NBA is an inside sport, so we have the inside-outside effect. And it's just a great cross-training athletic position to be in to show those type of validities. Here is me, M.R.H Gifty Services, my true freshman year, holding the true freshman trophy, the coach's award. Now this is where we played offense and defense, and we got it done on offense and defense throughout the cardiopulmonary resuscitation definition and meaning, why we took it to those levels as far as expelling McKinley, RAINIER, HELENS, and having a C.P.R program, a C.P.R class that actually means that in the in-depthness of truth and reality through competition, true versus lie, as you very well know it in the law setting, in the perjury setting, in the autograph setting of documents and things of that nature. We also have the defensive award right here. In this defensive award, we achieved Defensive Player of the Year. This is to show the offense and defense that was taking place at FWHS, that on the C.P.R setting, the cardiopulmonary resuscitation, was mandatory to do in the expelling of McKinley, RAINIER, HELENS in our graduate class. These are the things that we was holding down, concerning that. When people had questions like, what is it for? What is it good for? These are the things that we were doing. So from here, on the offensive end, you can see me doing the NBA pose here. Ambidextrous, holding the ball, doing the NBA pose. See that up close? That's offense. Here, you can see the same year, the Defensive Player of the Year award. That's defense. So all that takes cardiovascular training. It means you have to be in shape. You have to be able to play offense and defense and be effective. So being effective required the expelling of McKinley, Rainier, HELENS. All those things were in place. So what we did on the field had to show in the classroom, had to show administratively in the doctor's office, in the principal's offices. It had to be orchestrated. It had to be true. It couldn't be a lie. So those are the things that we did to establish the program educationally and have a initial base concept of healing through the GED program, which was and is initial